My first day of college, 2025. I moved into a cramped dorm room, 2 beds, 2 desks. One side was mine, the other belonged to my new roommate, Dale. I'd never met him. I unpacked, set up my computer, and tried to settle in, but the room felt cold, even with sunlight streaming in. Dale arrived hours later. He didn't say hello, just dropped his bags. Tall, thin, wide-eyed, he barely blinked. I tried to be friendly. "Hi, I'm your roommate." He stared through me, nodded once, and unpacked in silence. No posters, no photos, just clothes and a few plain black books stacked perfectly on his desk. He spent the day sitting on his bed, staring at the wall, unmoving. I tried to start a conversation, but he only nodded or shook his head. It was like living with a ghost. That night, I went to bed at 11. In the dark, I heard his slow, heavy breathing. I felt watched. I cracked my eyes open. He was sitting up, facing my bed, a dark shape in the corner. I squeezed my eyes shut and pretended to sleep. I barely slept at all. The days stayed strange. Dale left for hours, never said where. In the room, he'd sit at his desk, staring at his black books, lips moving in silent whispers. The silence was suffocating. Nights were worse. I'd wake at 3 a.m. to find Dale standing in the middle of the room, facing the window, motionless for over an hour. Another night, I heard scratching. He was on his hands and knees, dragging his fingernails across the floorboards, slow and methodical. The sound made my skin crawl. The worst was waking to find him standing right next to my bed, staring down at me. I held my breath, paralyzed. He stood there forever, then silently returned to his bed. I was terrified. I was unraveling, exhausted, anxious, unsafe. One afternoon I returned early. The room was empty, but my laptop was open. Someone had checked my emails and social media. My backpack was unzipped, notebooks out of order. Dale was snooping. I waited for him. When he came in, I confronted him. "Did you go through my laptop?" He stared, expressionless, unblinking. The silence was worse than shouting. "You have to stop. You can't go through my things. You can't stand over my bed at night." He tilted his head, as if confused, then gave a slow, cold smile. It wasn't friendly. It made me sick. I knew I had to get out. That night I told the resident advisor everything. Dale's watching, the scratching, the invasion of privacy. The RA was concerned and found me a single room in another building. Relief washed over me. I moved out the next morning fast. Dale was gone. My new room was small, but it was mine with a lock. For the first time in weeks I felt safe. But that night, as I studied, I heard a soft scratching at my door. At first I thought I imagined it. Then scratch, scratch, scratch. My blood ran cold. I looked through the peephole. Dale was outside, face pressed to the wood, scratching with his fingernails, jiggling the doorknob, pushing against the door. I backed away, heart pounding, and called campus police. Campus police came quickly. They found Dale outside my door and took him away. I never saw him again. He was expelled. I felt safe again, made friends, started to enjoy college. Months later, my friends and I decided to explore the woods at the edge of campus. 4 of us, flashlights in hand, laughing as we wandered off the main path. The woods grew cold and silent. The crickets stopped. We sensed we weren't alone. We heard footsteps in the trees matching our pace, always just out of sight. A branch landed on the path in front of us. We called out, no answer. Fear took over. We hurried back, footsteps following, never daring to look back. We ran until we reached the safety of campus lights. Life went on, but the woods incident haunted us. I started feeling watched again, even in my new dorm. Then came the knocking, soft, persistent, always just after midnight. Tap, tap, tap. I checked the peephole, no one there. One night, the knocking moved to my 3rd floor window. Tap, tap, tap. No balcony, no way up. I sat frozen, listening to the fingernail-like tapping for nearly an hour. Disturbances increased. Whispers in empty hallways, my locked door creaking open. I felt haunted, targeted by something unseen. My friends said I was paranoid, but the fear was real. I started thinking about leaving the university. The final straw came a week before semester's end. I woke at night and went to the communal bathroom. As I sat in a stall, the door opened. Heavy footsteps, big muddy black boots stopped in front of my stall. They just stood there, unmoving. I asked, "Is someone in there?" No reply. I waited, heart pounding, trapped. Finally I said, "I'm calling the police." The boots turned and left. I waited, then peeked out. The bathroom was empty. I ran back to my room and locked the door. I didn't sleep. Was it Dale? Something else? I still don't know, but I knew I couldn't stay.